Hey, is this...
Yeah, we're back on.
We're back.
Nice.
We had 2 casualties during the restart of the computer.
We had to sacrifice them to the computer
To
god.
X strange computer god. But we are back. Thank you for hanging in there, everyone. We're going to try to just kind of pick up where we left off. I think we're talking about changes to the MTGO cube. We'll make a tweet about it while we're here. Eck, if you want to follow me up on that for as we slowly get people to filter back in the room and try to keep the show going live. You know, Nathan, you just recently joined Twitter, wouldn't you say?
Kinda. I joined Twitter like maybe 2 months or 3 months ago, and then didn't do anything. But then people just started following me because I had followed some Magic-related people, so they knew that I was the Nathan Holiday who just won the GP. So they were like tweeting at me if I'm going to tweet, and I'm like, oh, I guess I will, because now people are tweeting at me. So.
See, that's when you start spamming them with the ads for the Viagra and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now that you've got a captive audience.
Oh yes, for all of the money you can make there.
No.
Back? We are live,
anyway,
boys.
All right.
Welcome back in.
What's up?
I'm pseudo_Nathan at Twitch.
We'll link it in the show notes for everybody, so you can add him on Twitter for all of his...
at Twitter, something like that.
Yeah,
He doesn't know his Twitter. He was like, I have a Twitter when people start adding him over the weekend.
Tweeted it both. Like, so are you supposed to follow people or something? Hashtag confused. I don't know if that's how you hashtag, but like...
all of your future Head and Shoulders questions can go directly to Nathan from here on out when we link you there. Alright, so the room stayed frosty. People are still here. We'll just assume that everything is well and good. We're looking at the MTGO cube changes for the podcast side of this. If you go to gatheringmagic.com, on the news side, they put together a handy-dandy page for you to look at the changes. We've bemoaned the loss of a few cards. Nathan was telling us about how much he loves Renewed Faith.
Yeah,
really. Yeah. I mean,
it's a pretty cool card.
I'm not going to say I don't love Renewed Faith.
You can just gain 6 life in a pitch. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes that wins games.
The Red Mage just straight up hates you when you do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really...
I mean, this is how I evaluate cards.
Remember when you played Nourish a lot, Eck?
Mm-hmm.
People didn't like you.
Oh, it was sweet, though.
Standard?
In
Block.
Gain like
Mirrored and Block?
8 life or something?
6.
What does Descendant of Kiyomaru do?
I love Descending of Kiyomaru.
Alright, so...
It's a 3/5 if you have more cards in your hand than your opponent.
Jeez, the Red Mage gets as hosed by that as anything that was cut.
It was such a big game in that limited format.
I noticed like they have a lot of cards in the Mono Cube.
I love these cuts.
Hokori is sweet.
Cut Aethersworn Canonist, add
Like,
Hokori.
There's a lot of like color hosing that goes on.
This makes the cube a lot more, or this color at least, a lot more fun. Yeah.
I agree.
A lot of really
Shrieking
more fun
Grotesque.
cards.
I'm a Seal of Cleansing fan. Of course, I'm a Gideon Champion of Justice fan. I feel like I'm the only one that there is.
Yeah, I like
Well,
that
they're
card.
putting
more
of your
favorite
set
into the cube
deck once and boarded it in.
Yeah, unicorn in there.
Like a tokens deck.
Okay.
I never drew it, but it would have been the absolute nuts if I'd ever drawn it.
I like
that is an excellent evaluation of Gideon Champion of Justice.
I like Night of the White Orchid.
He's alright.
Treat's kind of fun, I guess.
What does Academy Rector get in this cube? Is there
We
anything
will find out.
We'll find out
as we go on.
Paul tonight used it to get a detention spear and then tried to do it on a land or something. Detention spear, you're a basic land.
So it was a bit of hit and a bit of miss at the same time.
That's not a hit. he got Darksteel Ingot instead, to be fair.
Is that good?
It's a little better than a basic one.
Yeah, it was much better than basic, like, planes.
Well, I guess it would have gotten all the basic planes, though, which would have been pretty good.
Alright, so any other strong feelings about white, as Zach has already blown through it? Overall,
except for green,
we're happy with these changes. I'm not a big Jotun Grunt trying to do stuff fan. I think that the double white bears...
Jotun Grunt's pretty bad.
Only go down in value, and Night of the White Orchid is I think one of the worst ones, actually.
I used to play that card as standard.
That's relevant to this conversation.
It wasn't good.
Well, border posts aren't in the queue.
No, but
border post was very good.
It's hard to make work, though. I remember it was like.
Entreat the Angels, I'm not a huge fan of either, but hey, go big, play some Mouse and Mythics or whatever.
Jonathan Grunt's really weird. Maybe there's like some sort of new combo deck.
There could be. I mean, seemingly that seems like a niche card, right? Yeah. It seems like a card that needs.
Well, it's probably a sideboard card for Reanimator. Like half this cube is sideboard cards.
Yeah.
I noticed but they're doing a good job of already cutting them for us, so we don't have to play with them anymore.
But like they're adding in
like half of
Hand
these
of
are
Honor.
Seal of Cleansing. I guess we can start that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move.
Pretty good.
Let's move down to blue.
So
Leaving blue this time
cuts.
around. No more Dream Halls, Mister. I'm ecstatic about Aethersworn Canonist.
I've never played
Dream Halls. I don't know. I used to really like the Dream Halls combo deck, but I've been more all in on like
Storm,
just Storm rather than drawing my entire deck.
Like.
I like Memory Lapse a
lot. Also, take it. Ideas Unbound.
Ideas Unbound is
wait, I have to take a good look at this. So, what did they actually?
Desertion. I love Desertion.
I cut Desertion.
Alright, so,
out of
so
IQ.
I'm glad. I
Yeah,
thought
I
they
haven't
might
seen
have
it.
cut like Turnabout, which would be a big problem.
I'm kind of surprised they cut Lone Revenant because I think that guy's really sweet.
I like that guy a lot. It was actually kind of the MTGO cube that turned me onto that card in the first place, and
Yeah.
now we play with it and I like
I
it.
totally agree.
Brine Elemental, Tandem Lookout, Dream Halls, Opt, Stifle, Ideas Unbound. These are all cards I definitely get behind. getting
Tandem
rid of.
Lookout was a complete
I'm
embarrassment.
only-
I
it
tried
was-
to play it a lot, and it just never
Even
worked.
in your cool like blue-green tempo.
Yeah, I mean, like, I drafted these tempo blue decks a lot of times, and it seems like he should be good in that
Man,
kind of deck, but he
memory,
was just
you know.
wretched every time.
Memory
Fair.
Lapse and Intuition and Ideas Unbound, I'm all sad to see go.
Careful
Yeah.
consideration.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
so.
that's the biggest like eye-widening moment on the blue cuts. Like,
So-
how is careful consideration leaving?
Teferi's in, which is surprising that it wasn't already in.
Yeah.
Ooh, Time Warp is in? That's cool.
So on the ad side, nothing here is like super exciting to me.
Ooh,
Although
Solid
Spreading Seas makes me pretty happy.
Spreading Seas is kind of mean.
Kind of.
Is Serum Visions or
I'm-
Opt better? I can't even tell.
I'm kind of
I'm gonna
stoked.
go with
That,
Serum Visions.
It's better at setting up Delver, which I like.
I'm kind of stoked that Misdirection is in because I've always liked that card, and I'm kind of bummed that it's on an R cube.
Go on
So like getting to play with it is going to be fun.
because of
It's good.
Because of it's good. Yes,
The
Like-
picture's sweet.
Like turning around removal spells is just such a sweet feeling.
I know
Stuff like
maybe,
that.
but you're still
Dude's
two
got
for
a
one
cool
yourself.
mask.
Yeah,
He's
but
got
usually
long
it's
heads and weird
You're like
faces.
two for
You're
two.
two for twoing.
You're two for twoing.
You know.
X all about the world of the two for two.
so.
I like Trinket Mage. That's
I mean,
a cool
Yeah,
card.
Trinket Mage has got. I mean, there's got to be a package for that guy.
I really
Yeah.
don't like Legacy.
I can't believe that
Agreed.
I think it's really slow and
Top deck?
weird.
I'm really
Legacy's
sad about
lower.
Intuition being cut.
Same here. I added to our cube over the winter.
I would much
I mean,
rather
it's only because of
Desertion than
Storm. I don't think
Legacy.
it's. I've never played it in a non-Storm deck, but it's very good.
You haven't had
at
the
Storm.
chance to Intuition for increasing confusion yet.
Well, that I got wrecked by that last time I played your cube. That was
There's
horrible.
no words for it, basically.
Or two fatties and an Unburial Rights.
So, I think overall, blue feels like I don't agree with a number of these cuts, and
Really?
I also
Tell
don't
us what you don't agree with, Eck.
on the cut side. I don't like Lone Revenant getting cut. I don't like
care
Careful
about that.
Consideration getting cut. I don't
I
like
like that.
Intuition, Memory Lapse.
I like those.
I don't like Power Sync.
Isn't Condescend, like, basically better?
Yes.
Not really. I've been blown out a lot of times with Power Sync.
Yeah,
tapping
I
all my
mean-
lands.
Yeah, that's true. It can be good. I like Condescend a lot though. Value.
And I mean, like, I'm glad that like some of these, like, I like Condescend a lot. Drinking Mage is cool.
I mean, it's pretty clear to me, like, keep Careful Consideration, don't put in Legacy's Lore.
Yes.
Keep Intuition.
Spreading
Well,
Seas
no,
sucks.
I think like Desertion.
Yeah, don't
for,
bring in Spreading Seas.
Desertion
Yeah.
for Legacies of Lore.
Legacy's of Lore is not even a good card. is it?
Desertion's awesome.
No, it's
Yeah.
a very slow control magic, is what it is.
It's bad.
All right, so let's go on to black.
On the cut side...
Neferox? No.
Okay, so on the cut side, I'm sad to see...
If it rocks and he sucks.
I'm sad to see Corpse Dance leave. I'm surprised to see Diabolic Edict leave. And
Not
I'm
surprised-
surprised to see Innocent Blood leave. Other than that, I'm not surprised by any
Yeah,
cuts.
I'm not
Hero
surprised-
Seal is kind of a big one.
Liliana's cool.
Is it?
I like Liliana.
Imperial Sea was very good for Storm. that's most.
It's okay. I'm glad you have a very narrow
That's most of what I have to say
one-sided
about that.
evaluation.
You just want a GP with eggs. Is this about what you'd expect?
I mean,
Is
it's
there
not.
Pirates Spellbound in the queue?
Is there any other strong feelings on the cut side?
Hey, I would be playing eggs if I could.
I mean,
Like, a lot of this stuff makes sense. And you have to understand that they get to make
I'm
these
very,
decisions.
very sad about Laquatus' champion getting cut because I like dealing people damage. No, I mean seriously though.
Well,
it's very
it
good.
does have two of your favorite things in the world on it. It does say gain life and lose life on the same
Not
card.
for you, though.
I really need to mock up
Yeah.
that Jim Morgan Planeswalker.
I
for
know you
Nathan.
do. I know.
I don't understand what is this Joe Morgan Planeswalker.
Well, it's a
fun.
great joke. It's a 2%er for next week.
That sounds good.
So now again, on the cut side, a lot of this makes perfect sense, and a lot of it to me has to probably do with the data that they get over what's drafted when, because there are cards on this list that I would see last pick all day long.
Yes.
Throat Slitter, Phyrexian Crusader,
Even-
Puppeteer
Surgeon.
Click.
and poor Puppeteer Click.
Yeah.
Years ago, that was a good card in Cube.
Phyrexian Crusader never made any sense.
I mean, I really still like Puppeteer Click.
Valky Horror, get out of here.
Like
Obviously.
Or
Womb
Black
Surgeon,
Knight.
like
He's so
that
bad.
card's so
Black
bad.
Knight.
Womb Surgeon's awful. Sign and Blood, I like.
I
Like,
It,
I mean-
it Despise is also awful.
a lot of
Well,
this
that's
makes
why it's getting cut. It makes
I liked
sense.
it.
a lot of this
Most of
makes
these are
sense.
fine.
These are cards that were in our cube that have been cut for other stuff.
Yeah, the Consuming Vapors versus Sever the Bloodline debate is a strong one.
I'm pretty surprised that, like, on the editions side, that like Vampire Nighthawk
Vampire
wasn't
Nighthawk's-
already in.
Isn't that like the most popular black card in history? People love this card.
Also,
Probably.
like, I think it's funny that they're adding stuff out when we just cut it.
Well,
Like-
I'm sure that they've listened to this podcast, and that's factored into the
like,
things that they do.
like how is Chainer's Edict done in already? How,
Signer's Blood is nice.
Yeah,
Signer's
card. Signer's
If you
Edict.
want to draw 2 cards.
I mean, Deathcloud is Deathcloud Visar like the heavier
What
black
does Undead
stuff.
Blighty even do?
It helps you discard cards and like cycle away shitty cards in your hand.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
like
the black
Black
compulsion.
Compulsion.
That costs a lot of mana, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's black. It's going to cost more mana.
Yeah.
that's true.
It's like a bad compulsion.
It's also you just can't get rid of it very easily, which is kind of cool. Or
Yeah.
You could, like,
I mean,
disenchant
over on the
compulsion.
edition side, it's like Hand of Cruelty. Why bother?
What is
Yeah.
up with Ravenous Rats? What is that for?
I also feel the same way.
Yeah.
Similarly to Nightscape Familiar, where it's like, are you trying to give us something, or
Landscape is cool.
Well, they
Nightscape
cut
is
a
much
bunch of
better
low
than
drops.
Ravenous
It's
Rats.
good for Storm.
the Storm
Rats
player
is
likes it?
God awful.
They had to cut.
I like
low
Skeletal
drops for low
Scrying.
drops.
Yeah, no, a lot of these things make sense.
I remember
Yeah.
playing
I mean, I guess
against you in Standard with Skeletal Scrying and like Black Odyssey, like Standard deck.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
it was very good.
It's been
I
called the
think you
Black
beat me.
Jace in Legacy.
I think I was playing.
They play their Jace, and you're like, all right, here's my window. Resolve it for like
It's pretty
6.
rare.
So
I agree.
I guess it makes
was
sense.
pretty
Ooh,
good.
I like Skeletal Vampire. and I
Skeletal
also
Vampire
guess-
is good.
Also known as Batman.
I can excuse cutting Laquatus' champion because they're adding Kokusho.
And Skeletal Vampire. You have 2 more 6-drops
Well,
here.
but Kokusho deals them damage or like loses them life.
So, if you could only have one of the 3, Laquatus' champion, Kakusho, or Skeletal Vampire, who would you have in the queue?
The champion, Laquatus' champion.
Of the 3 cards we just named,
They're
that's your
all
choice.
horrible.
No, Kokusho.
No, Vampire is probably the best one, but I really like the champion. I
I
think
don't
it's,
like any of this kind of card.
Champion does dome them
I never
like
played.
right away. It effectively has haste.
it just
which is
kills
sweet.
them.
Okay.
Not red.
I can dig it. It's
I-
like a
I cannot-
District Firecat sort of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So in your blue-black decks,
well, you also cast the Firecat. That's why it kills. them.
in your red-black big mana decks,
well, and you've also cast Cryptic. So
Red, black, blue.
This is an ambitious.
I think for the most part, we've touched on everything that's kind of weird as an
I like
outlier
that
on one way or another on black. A lot of the stuff does make sense. It is one of those things where it's like, why bother Black Knight into Hand of Cruelty? Why bother? Or
That's your death
why
conference.
take out Diabolic Edict? Just give us Chainers. Why do we lose innocent blood? Getting a response from Wizards of the Coast on these kind of things would be really helpful. I mean, it would be nice if somebody came out, made an article, let you know kind of the why of these changes. I think the community for Cube is strong enough that people, they want to know, and it's gonna help us understand, and be better Cube builders. I think people like Lee Sharp, who just love data and data mining on these things, they have
Yeah.
all this great information on Cube and Cube Picks online that I would love to get my hands on, or at least get an explanation of why things are going the way they do.
Disfigure is very good. I didn't notice that till right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's
our
okay.
Disfigure is a sweet one.
All right, on to red.
We're getting a lot of.
Let's
changes.
start on the cut
yes.
side.
Alright, here we go.
Let's start on the cut side.
Colonel Angel Fury,
man.
big whoop.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
What?
Ooh, I
Night.
love a Chromal Angel Fury. What are you guys
It deals
talking
so much
about?
damage,
Dude,
and it has
Tibble-
morph.
They're cutting
Two of my
Tibble.
favorite
How dare
things.
they?
It's like one of the only ways that red beats.
Slith Firewalker out.
Control.
I don't like.
Ooh, Vexing Devil, get out of here.
Vexing Devil is
Card's
unplayable
not-
even in burn.
Yeah.
Magma Quake, thank you.
Yeah, that card's bad. The little sad he pulls the Forge Gun. I really like
Man.
that card.
My
Jackal
opponent
Hop's leaving. That makes me
turn 3
sad.
Sorin
I love
Markov,
Jackal
and I killed it
Hops.
with Pulse of the Field or Pulse of the Forge.
Man, Hops and
I'm
Obliterator
so
out?
good.
That's like the same card.
Yeah, Pulse of the Forge is pretty huge.
And
for
right-
players.
Right out of here.
Oh,
Get it
we-
right out of here.
You sound so surprised.
It's an
Like, is your
AVR
bar
card.
so low for what you expect them to change in the cube
Yeah.
that
I
you were
don't
like
know.
have to fist pump
They
with
cut
right?
multiple cards from AVR. That's got to be a good direction. Vexing Devil, Tibble,
They
Yeah.
put it in.
Rite of Ruin.
They put like Rite of Ruin in the first place.
So again,
they did something
since they
wrong.
don't come out and kind of like tell us exactly why, we kind of have to just make guesses. And when Rite of Ruin went into the cube, it was kind of like, oh, Avacyn had just come out.
Yeah.
They must be adding all the Avacyn restore cards.
Yeah.
And
Clearly
it kind
they
of
did. Look
and
at
it kind of
this.
set this precedence where we're like, well, every time a new set comes out, they're just going to jam all these bad cards in our cube. So
I mean, it really like looking at like what's coming out in red. Like we've got 3 big like board sweeping red spells,
you keep looking back at Rite of Ruin.
and like
Don't quite follow.
like
Obliterate and Jackal Hops, though.
Yeah.
Magma Quake, like Obliterate Joggle Hops,
Magma
like
Quake I like.
I mean, Destructive Force is getting added though.
Yeah, that's weird. A horrible Jackal Hops.
like what like this is what I don't get. Like why change it so like
Hops
I-
is so good.
like these are just very odd iterations.
Maybe
You know
it's
what I
just
mean?
maybe it's for actual just like different because people played the cube a lot. They want to
Yeah,
like,
did you
put
just
a
change it
different
up?
one in.
Just change it up
Like
for no
we-
reason.
Just
I'm
to
sure
change it
some
up.
some of the changes can be.
Ooh, plus Faithless Looting. This is good. This is very good. For
Like,
Zara.
There's a lot of
Faithless
very
Looting is
beautiful cards getting
But,
added,
like-
like Magus of the Moon, Death Cloud, and Hokori. Those are all like.
Yeah,
I played Magus of the Moon in my
Evil.
cube for a very long time as well.
like
At the end of the
Mutant
day,
coming in.
I mean, they are.
What is Goblin Cadets? I don't even
Yeah,
know.
That's the
I don't know
2-1
It's
for
the
1.
2-1.
Every time it blocks or
Jesus.
becomes blocked. So it doesn't even deal the combat damage. It just bounces
And
from
tags
side
out of
tape.
combat?
Yeah.
What does it even do? I mean,
It attacks for 2,
if they don't
hopefully.
block.
They also put in Goblin Patrol.
Yeah,
like-
so
If they don't block, it
whatever.
just gets them for 2 every turn.
So like they clearly like there's a
That's so
lot more
bad.
aggressive
I
red
know.
cards, but they also took out.
You're
I feel like
Slip Firewall.
I feel like a lot of these changes like they're not trying to change what the colors do. I feel like what they're changing is like let's try different things.
Yeah.
That are like, let's just change the red aggressive cards for the sake of changing them. Let's just change the big red cards for the sake of changing them.
The Jockelhops,
Let's-
Jockelhops business, they cut entirely, basically.
Yeah, but they
So-
put in Destructive Force.
which
Yeah,
it's
but they
slightly
cut 3
different
of
though.
them. I don't know.
Also,
Or
like
2 of them.
Destructive Force is pretty different than Hops.
Yeah, it's way worse.
Yeah.
Because usually when you're the Hops
Yeah.
player, like your opponent casts really big stuff, like a Titan. And you're like, it's okay, I can get back in this game.
Mhm.
All that stuff's gone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with Destructive Force, you have to be the guy that also has the Titan, and then you have to be in a game position where you cast a Titan. You're not clearly winning or losing, and they'll be like, aha, now we cast Destructive Force, now we're doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, Destructive Force does have more combos than Hops, though.
Desperate Raving seems pretty...
Stormcreek Noble's pretty...
Yeah,
equivalent
Mr.
to
I
Slip
love Faithful
Firewall.
Looting. Look, there's your Desperate Ravings.
Ravings is a nice one. I like it.
Finally,
Like,
some
I'm bummed
consequences.
it-
Remember that time they added all the
Champion.
AVR cards, but not the good
All
ones?
right. That wasn't already in there?
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow, that's actually weird.
Well-
I guess it was a long time ago.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Holiday
It seems like the
series.
red aggro deck just gets way better from this. There's a lot of cards I'd want to play on the edition side, and not a lot of cards I want to play on the cut
What,
side.
what I'm hearing is that Michael
agree.
Boland will be casting Goblin Cadets the next time the MTG
Sure, I'll get it 15th pick, and I'll
He will
I'll
be
start it.
casting it. So let's move on down for red. It's pretty clear there. Over in the green section,
Not as much
green
change.
is not that much has changed. We do lose the Prey Upon, which was kind of one of this. Seems like a Rosewater, like, oh, there's your green kill spell. Like, we found it for you. It's in the cube. That's how
Good
you deal with
impression of
creatures.
his voice.
Yeah.
We lost Seal of Primordium. We get the Seal of Cleansing. I don't think there's anything here that I am.
I'm bummed Phantom Centaur's gone because I really like that guy.
Yeah.
Like, especially with equipment, he's just awesome.
Of all the cards on this cut list that are in our cube, I think there's only 3 that are even in our cube. It's just Seal of Primordium, which we have more artifacts and enchantments anyway.
Yeah.
Phantom Centaur and Jade Mage is obviously sweet with Gavany
Everything.
Township.
Forest.
Yeah, sweet with
Opposite.
forests.
Opposite.
Yeah.
Over under their cutting.
It's not bad with Forest.
So, like, on the plus side, like,
Now we've got all this color fixing. I like that. We've got the Borderland Ranger Dryad.
Eureka
And
is
Civic
hella sweet.
Wayfinder.
That's a great card.
I don't
and
like
Wood
everything.
Elves.
Exploration. There's a card I
I like
absolutely
Dryad
hate.
Sophisticate and Experiment one.
Like, Wood Elves,
Oh, Exploration's
Yeah.
sweet for a storm.
I don't ever want
I
to...
was talking about how-
Lasher Exploration.
How much
is
of a
pretty
madman
sweet.
you'd have to be to ever play
Eureka's going
Exploration
in.
instead of just another land.
Eureka's going in. Eureka is sweet.
This guy.
Eureka's good.
Like, we just added it to our cube.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Wait,
I
is
wanted
that
to take
is that
it
a
today.
Nature's Lore down there?
Nature's Lore.
Wow. So not 3 visits? That's
No.
really weird. Wow. Why wouldn't you play the $25 version?
Well, like,
They're even whiteboarded on Moto too.
Yeah.
Value. It's
Eureka's
so
super
ugly.
fun. I'm glad to see Life from the Lung coming in because
Really?
that card's
Yeah,
always sweet.
It's cool. It's a good card.
Alright.
I like it.
It's. I mean,
Well,
it has its uses, and they're not in every
Yeah,
deck.
and a lot of
I
good
love
ramping
Life
cards.
from Alone.
You could have
I
like
love Life
value
from Alone.
life from Alone.
Court of
or
Calling
straight
seems
up
interesting.
almost
I like
I don't know how good that's
I
going
had
to
Life
be.
from Alone in my deck today, and the
With
first time I
extra
dredged it,
Yeah.
I hit land, Blast from the Past, land.
That seems pretty
It
good.
made me hit threshold for my barbering, which I then sacked.
Yeah.
It was good times.
Well, it's good.
Wow, Life in the Lone Ring is pretty high too.
Yeah.
Usually right in
I
my
mean-
pot.
Yeah.
Experiment 1 to Ride Sophisticate, like trying to make like the green aggro
That's gonna
a
be
thing.
horrible. I can
I
calling it
love
right
Dryad
now.
Well,
Sophisticate,
especially
though.
because
That
like
card's awesome.
you're also you're cutting like
Molten
some of the
Rifle.
like good mid range green guys, and then adding like some dopey mana like Wood Elves and Civic Wayfinder and
Well,
stuff.
obviously they're
Wow, all
they're,
green.
they're
Those
pushing the
cards are
ramp
green?
side
Yeah.
of green more.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not about the aggressive creatures. Like Leatherback Baloth just isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But like Borderland Ranger Wood Elves is a thing now.
I guess.
Well,
Mid-range,
and, like,
mid-range green
Dangerous
creatures
Lore
were just
and
always
Edgebottom.
unplayable though.
Poor Urnham Jin.
Right? Like,
Not
the only thing that green is worth doing is like either like fast ramping or large things.
Or killing
Right,
enchantments
like-
and artifacts.
I guess
Yeah, years-
rather
year-
fast ramping and large things.
Yeah,
not like
years ago in Cube, green was pretty much the bigger brother of white and red, where it could play creatures with this like, oh, you laid a 3-drop, well, my 3-drop's bigger. You laid a 4-drop, my 4-drop's bigger. Which is kind of the essence, the color identity of green in the ether, but not really what it does in Cube anymore and what the most powerful cards are. On this 26 card list we're looking at for the adds and cuts in green, I'm really sad to see Phantom Centaur go,
Yeah.
and I'm really confused and not happy that Exploration's being put in. I think those are my takeaways from this list here on
Yeah,
green.
like it's pretty meh all around.
I like all the ramp getting added.
All right.
It's early mid-range.
Gold is
Getting
getting
out
a
of there.
makeover.
You should probably zoom out a little bit on their gold side. We just lost a bunch of gold cards in general. Now
That's cool.
we lost so much stuff that it's just kind of awkward to try to say them all. What really jumps out at people? Like, I can't believe this is leaving. How dare they?
I really like Sphinx of the Steel Wind.
Okay.
That card's really
The
good.
two opposite cards.
Wow,
I'm surprised neither Reliquary and Luxon Smiter
Not
getting
the
cut.
Reliquary is like
That
Huge.
really
The card is huge.
Olivia Volverin getting cut. Psychic Talk getting cut. Very sad about.
It sucked. Though.
Not
Sorry.
surprised.
very bad.
Bid Blast getting cut. Oh my
I feel
god.
like-
That's
I know. What is wrong with
The
you?
two
Venser the
Blast.
Sojourner, Vraska the Unseen. These are good planeswalkers.
Mortify
Wait,
Putrefy.
you're kidding, right?
Vraska sucks. Yeah.
Nebraska's.
Mortify Putrefy
It's like
getting
5
cut.
mana Blight Mill? No. It's like 5 mana Vindicate? No.
5 mana Maelstrom Pulse. Like,
Not even.
Not even. It doesn't even get all of their tokens. Or whatever.
Mortify
I couldn't tell if you were
Holy
kidding about Venser though. I kind of liked Venser sometimes.
Yeah.
He's coming in.
I am.
Oh, wow.
I am.
All right.
So on the
Wait,
plus
so are you-
side,
I don't even know.
I love Venser. I'm sad he's leaving. I'm very serious.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
that's a good planeswalker.
And then Vraska, you're not serious about, right?
I like Vraska. I don't. She's not as
Really?
good as
she's
Venser.
okay.
Okay.
She's not as good as Offense.
Didn't you just say that she's like
Lars
not even
said.
a Maelstrom Pulse or something?
She's
So,
just difficult.
on the plus side, I really like Baleful Strix. I'm pretty upset that Childless Agent comes in
Ooh, I'm
because
happy about it.
it seems to somewhat legitimize that card, and I absolutely hate it. It's
What's
so
wrong with
bad.
that card?
What?
What's wrong with that card? Why do you hate it?
Because it doesn't do anything.
You hate. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's just a 2-for-1. It's a Grey Ogre
Yeah.
plus probably another.
It's just like a big coiling oracle.
Or like it reveals your
Yeah.
counter spells, and it's miserable. Like you
I
just
guess
cast
it's
a
kind of
Grey
awkward
Ogre.
that it's blue.
Yeah.
Depends on the deck.
It's good in the like Edric tempo deck.
I mean, if that card was green white or green red, it'd be a lot better.
Yeah.
Not
Like
in
if it was
Legacy.
reliably getting you
Well,
a guy.
okay, not in Legacy.
I suppose we're not really playing Legacy though.
What are you playing? I don't know.
I'm glad Galactic is going in.
Yep.
I'm glad Obsidat's going in.
That
because
guy
guy's
is so hard to kill. So we were having a conversation about
Cast?
Obsidat the other day.
Sorry, did you say?
And we were
cast?
talking about how there are very few spells in Cube that kill Obsidat, and I was like, okay, well, we'll just we'll change it up on the black removal. We'll bring in like Rend Flesh, like these will.
Not ultimate price. Go for the through.
What does Red Flesh do?
It kills a non-spirit actually.
Yeah. I
So
remember that.
just banged.
Is there a destroy target non-advisor? to go with it.
And after we realizing that Rend Flesh wasn't going to get the job done, it was starting to kind of like the conversation started to devolve into like, well,
Chill to the bone.
chill to the bone.
Chill to the
Cold
bone.
Snap.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
Well, bam!
all conversations come back to Cold Snap. Thank you, Michael.
Go for the Throat is real.
Go for the Throat is real.
Yeah.
You have named one of like 6 spells that kill it.
Yeah, let's go for the
Vendetta's
Throat.
not even working. Damn.
I mean, we have Shrapnel Blast.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Dismember, and then you have like the obvious ones. Swords Path are the obvious
Yeah.
ones.
yeah.
And then good luck finding 5 damage or destroy a non-black, non-spirit, non-multicolor creature.
It can't be a sorcery unless you convince them to leave it and play on your turn to block.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
It can't happen.
Yeah.
can't you? Isn't that
Like, you know, what is that Death Parrot or whatever from Unhinged? Like, save a kill spell for this guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
Obsidat is the real version of that card.
Yeah.
Like, that card hits the battlefield and you're just like, you're
You can
gonna
also
die to
for-
this!
You can also forget to bring it back on your upkeep and lose it, just like you can lose a Death Parrot. So I'd say
Yeah.
you're pretty accurate there.
Why, thank you. I thought you were
Yeah.
just going to start, like, rules lawyering. Like, no. What you're not realizing is that you have a lot of opportunities for them to just not get it back.
no, it's really similar.
On average, the ones they're adding are way cheaper than the ones they're cutting, right?
Yeah.
That whole
Yeah.
bottom section all costs like 2.
I mean, and
except for Merciless Eviction. What's up?
that is the worst by
That
a
one
mile.
sucks.
Lightning.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that likes Merciless Section? I think that card's sweet.
It's okay.
You are the only one.
Okay.
I think I would
It's
put...
like Austere
That's
Command.
fine. I'm fine
not
with it.
excited
I would
about
add a Steer Command back to the cube, and I'd probably add Purify to the cube before I put this card in.
Sure.
So I like
Shaman's Artifacts.
I like a lot of the cards that they're adding. Detention Sphere is really good. Band Charm is good. Boros Charm is awesome.
Yeah.
There's no charm you can argue with at all in Magic. They're just all insane.
I want to.
Sapphire Charm?
I definitely want to.
Sure, it's my cube.
I definitely want to. I definitely want to try out Domri
I
Red.
think Dahmer's insane.
Like I think it could be
Pretty
quite
sure.
good.
Let us stop on Diamond Raid, and let us talk about why it is insane. Because we did not add it for Gate Crash. When we talked about the Gate Crash update, I feel like we had good reasons not to include it. Nathan, you are the guest here. Why Diamond Raid?
Well, Dahmer's a very powerful. I mean, Planeswalkers for 3, as long as they do something, are probably insane. Like,
Just like how Planeswalkers for 2, as long as they do something, are probably insane.
yeah, but there's
Probably.
no Planeswalker for 2
Who
that does
knows?
anything. So,
It's hard to say.
I mean, they both.
I mean,
I mean,
they just
is the depression factor of Domri Raid worth... Like, is that swing... Is the emotional swing of cast it, reveal land, like, not
Well,
not facepalm.
You're definitely going to feel something when you cast this card. Either very happy or like suicidal.
Yeah, I mean...
Is that swing worth it? Because it costs 3 mana.
I mean, I'd say you just minus it a lot. Like, playing it and minusing it, just like playing it and minusing Liliana is a really big game.
It can be. And for us, what it kind of boiled down to is we're playing in a powered cube where it's not like the MTGO cube environment. It's not like a standard environment where there's all this creature face-off happening.
Yeah.
In the powered cube...
There are tons of decks that have like 2 guys in them, and neither of them cost less than
This
6.
is not powered, right? Or
Right. So in this cube, it probably is better.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. It is better than in our cube.
Because like every deck's going to have like at least like 8 to 10 guys.
And that's
I
one of
mean-
the things when you go back to playing the MTGO cube, especially if you're like me, if you came off like it was kind of like ODing on the power cube over the holidays, coming back to MTGO cube the first time, there was definitely a relearning curve where it's like, whoa, I'm going to need creatures to win this game. It's going to be very important. So to me, Diamond Raid can be important in those decks. In a broader sense, especially when talking about our cube, I'm not a Diamond Raid fan.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm never ever going to cast this card.
Oh, that's great. So
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense that you would be championing it.
I mean,
Doesn't really do
Because-
damage.
does he
Doesn't
want-
do anything against Storm.
You don't-
Let's get it in there.
well,
it doesn't interact with your Black White Abyss decks. It
They can't even like try to get their Canonist with it because they cut that card.
well, it actually does interact with the Abyss decks because it's going to ultimate eventually and then you lose. Like, you have to figure out a way to deal with it.
you don't have 5 turns to like stop them when they have
I
their card in
mean,
play.
your whole
Sure.
plan is to have...
You just vamp
Probably
tutor for
not.
Vampire Hexmage. You're fine.
Sure. I mean, I don't have any creatures in my deck, so I can't do that.
Except to lie. You even played the sorcery that is Vampire Hexmage to kill target planeswalker.
Yeah, I might do that.
I
But
mean-
it had creature type on it. Had a creature. It had creature on it, so I probably didn't pick it. To begin with.
You don't have like the Shriek Maw to go
So-
with your Vampire Hexmage to go with your Volrath Stronghold, so you don't get decked
Jeez.
either.
Yeah,
Wow, that's pretty. Okay, that
So-
might be a thing.
One of the other cards they're adding is
Somewhat.
Night Veil Spectre, also from Gatecrash, and I just don't see it.
I like this card. I
That card
wrecked
seems
with this
rad.
card like last night.
Specifically me.
Yeah, specifically Boland. Like last night, I was just ripping all of his cards off. Of
I was
his deck
blue-white and he was
beating him
Esper,
with his
so
deck.
it was sweet.
I mean, it's
I just like it that it's mono black and mono blue. That's what I think is cool.
yeah,
It's like basically not a multicolor card. They just added a split card for blue and black. Like,
yeah.
I agree with that. I still think I would add Smite Balance back to our cube before I added this card, but
Yeah.
that argument is very strong. You could Dark Ritual it on turn 1.
Yeah, that's. I mean, playing their lands is really good.
I mean, again, so overall on Gold, I think I'm really mostly surprised to see stuff like Night of the Reliquary get cut, because that
Yeah.
card's always really good.
I love Smiter. I'm sad to see Mortify, Putrefy,
Smiter,
Bit Blast. All those kill spells are really
I like
strong.
Void Slime.
I mean, we're not completely raging at them,
I'm sad,
other than maybe Sphinx and Night.
Bog out Ram Gang, I'm sad about.
I'm sad to see Tidehell Speller go.
Yeah,
Ooh, wait, that's Baleful Strix? That's the, like, draw a card?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, get that
Thumbs
in
up.
there.
Yeah.
That's a thumbs up.
yeah. Baleful Strix is awesome. I love that card. I
It's
play
awesome.
it all the time.
Overall, this is still a really strong move for the MTGO cube because we're getting rid of a lot of this awkward double color. What is it? The Gerard, this guy?
Gerard.
Are you trying to tell me that card was ever cast ever?
Isperia Super
Fire
Fire
Angel, nice
Yeah.
magic card.
Same with Niv Mizzet, the original Fireman Angel, and then Impreza, the Subaru Outback or whatever. Like that card was ever cast.
No.
Yeah.
No, like
Oh,
a
man,
lot of these
I had
cards
a
are bad.
very good experience with my opponent. Dream halsing out a Niv Mizzet, like, when he had 5 mana, and then, like, me bouncing it with Capsize at the back.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
quite something.
All right. That's a story.
I'm also kind of sad Olivia Valerne is leaving because that card is just such a huge game. Like,
Yeah. That's another
we
one
don't
with
even
serious
we don't
swinging.
even play it.
yeah, but
I mean, I don't really like the card because you just lose to it immediately. If sometimes it doesn't do anything, and other times you lose immediately, and other times you remove it. I don't know. It just seems like one way or the other.
You have
one-
named
one-
some scenarios.
One person loses. Like,
Yeah.
it's very swingy. I don't
All
really
right.
like cards that are that individually powerful.
Let's roll past. Collis, it's going to take us a little while to kind of touch on everything in
Really
the
wrap our
section.
brain around what's happening.
And it's actually a good opportunity for us to talk about the fact that we don't run Emrakul in our cube. We only run Ulamog and Kozilek. And I think that's just because it's very possible to get to 10 or 11 mana in a game of Magic in cube for us. We don't run Channel. These things do happen. You can hardcast these things. You can also cheat them into play with the various effects. Emrakul just seems too much to me. If that makes any sense to anyone else.
you're never casting that guy.
I mean, that is a lot of tentacles.
He's never coming into play in a way that is like you played a bunch of land and mana accelerants and then played it. Like it's always like Channel or Tooth and Nail or
Eureka.
Like he's ever like getting hard casted. Like,
but
he's
for
also
the decks
getting
that want
revealed
him,
to
you can
Bob
like
sometimes.
no one else wants it, but
But
you're
if
yeah.
you
doing
hard
that, you
cast,
can like
get
last
a cube
pick it.
achievement point.
right, like
True, but you also get that same Cube achievement point if you cast Kozilek or Ulamog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's not. There's not an Emrakul only achievement in Cube.
no, I mean not to mention the fact that like it's just such overkill. Like the Eldrazi, the other Eldrazi's are good enough.
It's really weird because I'm into a lot of fun cards in Cube, but Emrakul just isn't one of those cards to me. I don't know.
I think the mana cost just makes it not one-sided.
I mean, I like casting Ulamog and Kozilek. I feel like that happens. I just feel like, when was the last time you played a Cube game? Well, I mean, we get to 15 mana and those like blue on blue, hot blue mirrors. But like having an Evercool in your deck doesn't really feel good either.
No.
Inevitability, man. I played against a Vampires deck when I was playing Cobblade, the like red-black Calastra Highborn deck, and he had the Blob enchantment that cost 3. And so, I forget what it's called. Dark
Tutelage.
Dark Tutelage. And he was like revealing cards. I was like, man, I'm going to lose to this thing. And I'm like attacking him with Hawks, and I'm just getting out-carded by this enchantment. And then he flips Emrakul to it.
What?
And
Get the what?
I'm not kidding. This happened to me. It was in a sideboard game. I beat him in game 1, and then he Emrakuls himself to death in game 2. I was like, can you just explain to me why that was in your deck? He's like casually making conversation afterwards. What's up with it? He just said 2 words, for inevitability.
Yeah.
It's inevitably going to end the game.
That's what I was referring to anyway.
I'm sorry,
So-
that's a tangent, but that's
I
all I
mean-
can think of when I see Emrakul.
Like Emrakul would be another sweet card of like Oath of Druids into, but like again, like I don't see any like even remotely fair scenario.
Plus,
where
like
you
games
want
of Magic
Emrakul.
in Cube could take place after you are annihilated for 4.
Yeah,
After you annihilated
For
for
6.
6,
it's very unlikely.
right? With a guy that's like pro a bunch of stuff.
And he's hitting you for 15.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not.
I just don't see a real way to get him into play.
That's not cheating.
That's not cheating.
Well, yeah.
Channel.
But, like, even so, those types of effects are pretty loose, I think, a lot of the time. Like, you might as well play a game ender that you can actually cast anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree with you.
if you're casting Eureka, like, why don't you just put, like, 3 7-drops into play that you might actually be able to cast at some point? Like,
I agree with you.
The green decks are generally better that way.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
Terrastodon
you get for like
top
Terrastodon,
deck the
Woodfall
sweet
Primus.
Emrakul.
yeah, blow up all their lands.
Yeah. So
all right, let's move on. Artifacts. This also would lead you to believe that there are a lot of space being made in other areas. On the cut side, we lose Ankh of Mishra. Go to hell.
Yeah, get out of here.
lose Black
I
Vice.
love
Good.
Thumbs down.
Being
We lose
cut.
some mana rocks, which I'm really not happy about. Cold Steel Heart, Felwar Stone.
No.
Yeah, we
Good,
lose
good
Graf-
riddance, Icecrown Scepter. That card is horrid.
Card's pretty bad.
It's also
No more Prizlens. We lost all of our Masticores. We are now
Lotus
Masticore
Petal?
free.
I didn't know
Mimic
Lotus
that.
Mimic Vat was powerful.
I would have liked to have a Lotus Petal.
I'm bummed that Mimic Vat left because Mimic Vat is really
Mimic
sweet.
Vat sometimes.
I'm one of the
Cutting
few
my
people that
rituals.
like shoes. Shoes is leaving the cube.
Yeah.
Mortarpod,
They're cutting my rituals.
Mindslaver. Aw, man. Like and then like, there's just Tumble Magnet.
You know,
what?
and the argument on the argument.
Elixir of Immortality?
Oh god. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get to the ad side until we were done bemoaning our losses over that side.
Get some inevitability in there.
Losing Mimic Vet here just really doesn't make any sense. As we talked about in the past, all creatures in Cube at some point down the road will all do things when they enter the battlefield.
Right. Eventually, that's where it's
Having
going.
this card that goes in almost any deck.
And they will all eventually die, also.
Yeah.
Relevant for this card.
Mr. Bowen is talking much more broader philosophical terms. Eventually, all creatures will die.
I'm
Yeah.
here for the existential angle on all the topics.
What is existential?
Ooh, sorry. I'm not an expert.
The $3,500 answer to a question no one asked.
So, I mean, on the plus side, like...
Games can now go on forever because we have Elixir of Immortality. How do we feel about the 21st century's Felon Kane? Are we happy that that's in the cube?
Well, you can time out. Like,
I mean, we just added Trinket Mage.
You can Trinket
So
Mage
now
for it.
you can just go on forever.
you can't Trinket Mage for Black Vise.
Yep.
Damn.
Anymore.
Yeah. I mean, this just doesn't... Like,
Trinket Mage for that.
I really don't agree with a lot of these cuts, just because, like, their cards are so sweet.
Get that Bone Splitter in there. I love Bone Splitter.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
why
a
was
very-
a Blood
that's
Splitter
a
in
good
there
card.
already?
Yeah, okay.
Like, that's what is confusing to me. Like, that card's really good. Like,
Yes.
it should have been in the first draft, so to speak,
It's in
of the Moto
one
Cube.
of the
Like,
MVPs in my cube.
It's the it's the everyone's Rancor.
Rancor for everybody, yeah. Like, O-Stone's okay, but it's so slow. Like, Winter Orb is okay. Like,
Yeah.
I just...
None of it is really
There
exciting.
are a few of these artifacts I'm glad are gone. Black Vice being
Black
one of
Vice
them.
being gone, I'm happy
Icecrown
about.
Scepter being one of
Eldrazi
them.
Monument being gone, I'm happy about. Icecrown Scepter being gone, I'm happy about.
But then, like, all the
Phyrexian
mana rocks...
Processor, I don't really know.
All the
that.
mana rocks being cut makes me real
Tormod's
sad.
Crypt,
Lotus
thank
Petal
God.
being cut makes me very sad.
right, so let's go to lands here.
Oh yeah, so we got a ton of lands.
Oh, that's cool.
But before we get to the lands being added, let's all have a moment of silence for Sheldock Isle.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
You guys obviously don't know what the meaning of moment of silence is.
Well, I was just ramping up to my moment of
WTF
silence.
declaration.
This was like gonna be like a. It was like the drop. Like I was gonna be like a dubstep song, like ramping up, and then drop into a moment of silence. I don't know. That was my plan.
I really like Sheldock
I don't
Isle.
understand. How could you possibly cut Sheldock Isle from any cube? It's the best card.
We'll just all have a moment while Nathan rages.
I can rage. Fuck, man. Sheldock Isle should be in like every cube that is not a peasant cube. Like not close.
Michael Boland, do you have it in your cube?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I have a sweet foil.
Nice.
Yeah.
Michael Boland, does your cube have any cards in it that cost more than 1 mana?
Sure. They don't have CMC more than one.
Ah.
We'll get to that on
on your own show.
Yeah.
but
all
still,
the best cards cost multiple mana.
Sheldock Isle.
I don't understand how can you cut that?
No one understands.
That doesn't make
That's
any
one of those
sense.
things where we would really benefit from somebody making a post, writing an article.
Is it just too broken?
Yeah, it's pretty broken. I don't know. They cut the power. Get this card out too.
This is really what Wizards of the Coast is telling us. They're telling us that Sheldock Isle is power 11. That is exactly where it is at. At the same time, Slayer Stronghold, that card is huge for the Boros decks. May it be aggressive or the slower ones. We talked about it in our previous
It's
casts.
really good.
Yeah.
If you talk about enemy colors, it's the closest thing they can get to drawing a card in a lot of ways.
Like,
Aw.
it's like almost strictly like you don't want to draw it before like turn 8 or whatever, but it just makes like everything you draw so awesome. Like
You can see it.
Okay.
Didn't you die to a hasted Geist St. Trapped in standard to that?
I don't want to talk about it.
The answer is yes.
all right, so on the addition side, we've got the Tri-lands.
So if you scroll 2 down here, you're going to get to Bad River. You'll highlight Bad River for the crowd.
Ah, yes.
It's just a misunderstood river. He's trying to get his life back on track. Let's not pass
So
judgment.
here we have the Mirage cycle of fetch lands, the original cycle of fetch lands.
Wow.
Now I have had this cycle of lands sitting in my reject cube binders for what feels like years, and they've just never quite made the cut. Nowadays, they're getting closer and closer in my mind.
There's no foils of them. That's a pretty serious barrier.
Yeah, it means you can pretty much get them for under $2 a piece. Although I think since I've had them, they've gone from a dime to like $1.50. Like people are slowly adding them to their EDH decks and such. So, do you guys have any strong feelings about the power of fetch lands? Are they strong enough in Cube where you would play a tapped fetch land?
Definitely.
Yeah, I played one last night.
Yeah.
Boom.
Literally, I played Bad River last night.
Okay.
In the Pauper Cube we were playing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Peasant
I
Cube.
cast a Brainstorm, sacked this, and then Mystical Tutored in my upkeep.
Yeah, fetch lands are awesome. Like, you obviously wouldn't, like, first pick them like you would regular fetch lands, but, like, I don't know, just more fetch lands I'm really down with. Although it's kind
Even
of,
Flagstones, another horrible fetch land.
I don't understand why Flagstone's in there. Flagstone's is only good because you can have 2 of them and you have, like, landfall.
We'll just
but-
try to keep it to the Mirage dual lands for now while we're talking about it.
Sure, but, like, I don't know. I mean, fetch lands are really sweet. I'd be down.
Why are they so sweet in Cube?
Well,
What
the fetch
things
lands
are
the
enabled?
best mana fixing in all of Magic? So having access to that in Cube is really important because it's, that
Plus-
without that the mana base just doesn't work. Like
Plus-
Cube should be like kind of like Legacy, but also kind of like Draft, and like fetch lands are a big part about making like Legacy.
I think also like the fact that it's putting lands in your graveyard to randomly enable other things is really good. Like
Yeah.
Sure. Death
You know,
Right, Life from the Loam.
Deathrite, Life from the Loam,
That's right.
Grim Lopomancer. Like having the ability to just casually fill your graveyard up faster than just
And
casting spells. And
I don't
shit.
know. I don't know if anyone in this particular circle is going to be, an expert on this subject. But thinning your deck by small percentage points may bring a bit of an advantage
Is this
to you.
what
in
you
the
were
long
going
run.
for?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm not really qualified to make this claim, but I'm pretty sure the more you can thin your deck in a game, the better off you're going to be. That's one more boost. I know it comes into play tapped, but we all to me, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse are some of the best cards in the cube.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say I basically agree with that. I mean,
Basically,
yeah, I just wish they'd add Conjurer's Bauble. Go the full 10 yards, but whatever.
okay.
The reason
so-
I like these dual lands because they reward you for drafting the actual dual lands really early, which I like
Right,
to do.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
one thing that people that have cubed with me in the past, especially younger players that just didn't really they never played with Onslaught when you that doesn't really make sense. Onslaught, when you played with Onslaught fetch lands originally when they were in Standard, you only got basic lands.
Yeah, Goblins was playing 8 fetches just to thin the deck.
Exactly.
Which was probably wrong, looking back on it,
That
honestly.
can't be right.
Like, the Goblins mirror must have been so embarrassing when, like, you took
First
4...
player who gets Rorik's wins. Bam. Old legend rule.
Was it old legend rule at that point still?
Well, Goblin, and it was also Patriarch's Bidding, which is, like, the awkwardest
First
thing
person to
ever,
get
right?
Rorik's. That's all that matters. Scared Prospector. Don't mulligan that hand.
Are you serious? Wow.
Other people in this house could come in and talk about it if you like.
I don't know.
Do you remember Pirate Aaron? He used to play that deck all the time.
I remember Nico Hickenbottom used to play it all the time. He had a really good run playing it.
Yeah.
Almost as good as his Cephalus breakfast.
Yeah.
Aaron that looks like a pirate?
Like big, like long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Captain
a pirate.
Yeah.
I said it already.
Yeah.
Not like a guy who steals music, like on this.
Like a
scene.
young-
I've never,
like a
seen,
younger
I've never
pirate.
seen him doing that. So
He will.
He will if you ask him.
So yeah, I think for our next coming set update, we're gonna have to seriously consider the Mirage fetch lands. I think that's
So
that's
I
kind of the
first
feeling.
picked Bloodstained Mire in the cube draft tonight. Like that's how good.
And how did you finish in that draft?
I didn't lose a match.
Okay, so you had a pretty good day. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to take lands early. I guess that's.
They added all the bounce lands back in.
they added the filter lands.
They added some man lands from the
Urza's
Urza's Legacy, if you
It's weird
will.
that they cut a bunch of multicolor and then added a bunch of fixing. That's kind of
It's gonna make your spells easier to cast instead of stuff
Right,
in your
yeah, I
hand.
mean, it's,
Yeah, I mean, people have fun when they can cast their spells.
So
Right,
other.
but wouldn't you add more multicolor if you had
So
They
they
just
added
spelled Mermaid
37 lands. So
More Murray.
like
well done.
A lot of cycles is really what we're being added.
I'm trying to look for stuff that Halmar
Halmar
Depths.
that card's poop.
That
I
card's
love that card.
void.
No,
It goes well
it's
with the Mirage Fetch land.
Yeah, true.
You can play it. Look at 3, and then you could draw 1, and then you could play your Mirage Fetch land, and then
Close it in.
They did.
the next turn, I'll give you could maybe get away from those other 2 cards, or you could draw a card
Yeah.
and then get away from one of those cards.
They do. They do
that'd
add
be right
Volrath's Stronghold, which is sweet.
It seems
Yeah.
like those are one of those no-brainer type ads where it's like, how
Yeah.
did it take this long for this to happen?
Exactly.
Card's insane.
So that's lands.
A lot
I
of
believe
them.
that would be the end of the
That's
list.
the
That
list.
is everything.
So
did Bastion do?
That's the
the
green-white filter.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, overall, I think the changes, a majority of them, I felt like the things that they added, I'm kind of was like dumbfounded that they weren't already there.
Some of them,
Like
yeah.
they're just
Well,
very like no-brainery. Like you're just now putting Bone Splitter in your cube. Like you're just now adding
Filter
such-
lands.
Teferi.
Yeah, like Teferi. Like so.
It's kind of weird because a lot of the cards, like, they had a powered cube which was totally different. Like, I remember playing with Bone Splitter in the powered cube for better or for worse. Probably for worse, but, like, still, I remember playing with Bone Splitter online.
I
So,
think
like,
I think I remember attacking with a Shieldred once when the Powered Cube was out. I think that happened.
I thought you were gonna say with a bone splitter.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm just trying to think. Like I can't remember many times where I think I tendrils my opponent to like 6, and then I Dream Hall. No, I couldn't Dream
Oh,
Hall.
you told me about this draft. This
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
it's
I
so
was like,
sweet.
I had a Shieldred left in play.
You
I
had, like,
tendrils him to 6.
you went all in on every single unfair thing you could do.
Yes.
Reanimation, Storm,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I have some screen.
Necropotence.
Yeah, I have some
right?
screen
Like,
captures from the deck lists and what we ended up playing. Like I remember, like Treachery was in my sideboard because that was what the Powered Cube was like.
Jeez, that's
Yeah.
You
insane.
boarded in
Yeah.
against creatures.
Yeah,
if they have them.
them.
Mono Red was a-
Maybe round 1.
Mono Red was okay because of the power made you not draw a lot. Was what I thought. Like eventually, like it's not great, but nobody drafted.
I mean, I lost to a mono red in all of the power cubing I did during the holiday MTGO cube. I lost to a mono red deck once, and this was the guy who in game 3 went like turn 1 mana vault.
Right.
Like-
that could have been me. Like that's how I draft. That's like you have to nut draw, but it's with power. It's not as hard. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like that's. I don't think that's very
So,
strong.
I'm really
I
more.
agree. I didn't think it was great, but it was underdrafted. Was why I did that.
It was hard to race the actual broken decks.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I feel like a lot of the subtractions, I kind of were like 50-50 in like, yeah, sweet, get that the hell out of here. Black Vice,
Right of
whatever, Isocron Scepter. But then like some of the cuts I was really bummed to see. You know, Mimic Vat getting cut, Slith Firewalker getting cut is
Yeah.
a shame.
Well, they added Stormkirk Noble. He's like the same card. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
I'd be fine with both, but like, I mean, think about attacking with both on turn 2 and getting 2 for someone's like that.
It happens
and
a
then you
lot.
volt charge them.
It happened in our cube because I think like Casey or something was complaining because he was trying to block with something, and it just happened to be a creature. It happened to be
Yeah,
a
human.
human or something.
Incidental human.
You probably didn't say it on the card either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually destroyed by Mercenary Knight being a human mercenary.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Okay, well, let's transition topics here. Again, our video cast is a little disconnected from our audio cast today because of the way our crash went down. So we're going to try to resync things back together. We're going to probably have to make a second Pick the Pack for the audience that's here live. We also have one for the after-the-fact audience. So I'm going to go ahead and actually grab the physical cube to get it packed together.
All right.
While we do that, I think this is a good time for a Nathan soliloquy. You are our guest here tonight. Congratulations again on the win. I don't think that won't make the audio side yet. Let's all clap in unison. Moment of silence for Nathan. Oh shit! You guys know how to do that? I had no idea that was going to work.
I was almost going to say like, what the fuck, just for consistency's sake.
So again, we've been playing Magic with you since you were a wee lad. Your dad was bringing you around when you were elementary school, maybe.
Yeah, I started playing when I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at you now. And we got to drag your dad out for a cube one of these days. I think he'd actually like it.
Maybe.
He says he
gets really, really confused because he doesn't know what any of the cards. He's really bad at remembering what old cards do. So
It's one of those. It's just you guys got to do it. As your dad slowly descends into old age, you keep the mind. Not that your dad's that old.
no.
This is kind of a burn on Nathan's dad, I feel like.
Maybe.
It's just a burn on getting
Sorry,
old.
Alan.
Whatever.
Like, all we do is play memory every day. Like, when we get to the age where Alzheimer's sets in, we'll be like, screw you, I still know exactly what deep water does.
Yeah.
What the copyright date on it says. Ha-ha!
Super relevant.
Where are my
right
pills?
there. Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's only 11:30.
I'm never getting old.
Well, I mean, the alternative is death.
Never there.
So I'm gonna run and grab the cube. Nathan,
Let's talk.
Sure.
how cube relates to playing Magic better. Lessons you learned in playing cube that led to winning the Grand Prix.
Sounds good. Well, yeah. Let me think about how I'm gonna connect all that up.
Not to put you on the spot.
Not to put you on the
Yeah.
spot.
But
Crazy multiple part question.
Here's the spot.
Uh,
You're on it.
yeah, I mean, I definitely over the last 6 months or so, I've played a lot more cube than I've played in any time before that. Like, I became much more familiar with cubing, and I don't know, especially with gifts, and Modern being such a diverse format. I really found it really similar, and I did quite well with that deck. I lost my win in at a PTQ, and I was consistently X1ing every tournament that I played with it, which is about right for a reactive deck like that. So, also I don't know, playing eggs is a lot like playing the storm deck that I like to draft on cube,
Yeah.
which I thought about a lot actually. You're always coming up with these. You're always making a ton of really small mistakes until you have mastered it. Except that with the storm cube, you never master it just because it's always different.
Mhm.
So the process of playing eggs a lot and getting better at it, and also the type of mistakes that you make that are really minor, is really similar to drafting Storm Online, I found.
So you think that the fact that cube is such a constantly variable format, and every draft is different, every situation is different, even similar matchups like the control deck versus the red deck or something, each time is going to be completely different in terms of what cards you have, what cards they have.
Yeah.
The ability to analyze situations.
Yeah,
from a more
the ability to
generalized
analyze situations
perspective is really useful.
Well, yeah, the one major change that I made to the eggs deck from the stock list that Sif go on the Pro Tour with, I changed one Gitaxian probe, one slight for one Gitaxian probe, which is not a huge deal, although I think it's better. But I cut the 2 silence for 2 twin cast, basically 100% on theory rather than practice. I just said, alright, twin cast is going to be better for XXX reasons based on this sort of general magic knowledge that I got from cube. Basically, it's you need to play around Relic of Progenitus, which means you need to cast another Sunrise in response, which twin cast does. And you also need to play around counterspells, which twin cast does too. Sometimes a little worse than silence, but that's okay. And then also, it's just a reasonable combo piece. That you get into really interesting situations where you need to figure out which Sunrise you want to twin cast for the most value, or I got into this really interesting situation against a Scape Shift deck where I let off with Reshape. He tapped out for Cryptic, and then in response I sacked all my eggs and Ghost Corded my lands and all that sort of thing, and then cast Sunrise, and he'd seen a twin cast before. He's like, "Oh no, you have twin cast," and like I didn't have it yet, but I was drawing to like reshape the 3 other reshapes in my deck or the 2 twin casts because I left the Cryptic on the stack. Like while I was going off at instant speed, I ended up finding a reshape, so I didn't end up twin casting it. But like that's sort of like I'd never played with twin cast before, but like that's sort of like use of the stack, which is not really like in standard you don't really get that sort of thing most of the time.
Right. I think that's
And-
also a function of the standard format being like
Yeah,
very light on
that's
counter
true.
magic.
But also, I don't know, it just seems like something that happens more in older formats, and you know, the oldest format that I played the most is Cube. Like, you could think of it that way,
Yeah.
with all these like old, very complex sort of interactions. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why don't you mock that up?
We'll just do it.
No, mock it up. It'll be easier. While you do that,
Oh, God. Okay.
life is hard. We'll talk about the follow-up on You Make the Card. Last week we talked about the You Make the Card over here at Team Magic Box. We wanted Creature. We thought Creature was going to give us the most design space, allow us to do the most things. We did not get Creature, although we do not know what we're getting yet. So, it's down to land or enchantment. And talking in a cube sense, I'm kind of heading towards indifference here. I think enchantment's going to give us a little bit more of a design space as far as what the power level could be. But I'm not sold. I mean, what do you guys think about you make the card, whether cube or not cube, will open up the floor, land or enchantment?
So are we designing something? Or are we
It's
just
happened
talking
before.
about-
There were like 3, I think, in the past. It was Forgotten Ancient. Which
No, I know.
It was like in Crucible of Worlds.
Yeah.
Basically, they like vote what kind of card is it going to be, like which of these should it be in like the community.
Well,
It's like
on the-
incremental design by
Incremental
committee.
design.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I voted instant just because I wanted more sweet instants.
But now you have to vote land or
I
enchantment.
I know, screw that. I just like tagged out of the whole process after that.
Lands combo better with instants.
What about like a land enchantment?
I just fused them.
I mean, there was that one creature enchantment, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Why not?
And
I
this
think-
land creature.
I
And
think
there was a
that,
creature that morphed into an enchantment.
I think that
There could be a land that morphs into a land that like eventually makes an enchantment.
Or
That
how about a
would be
more creature
really
that
weird.
is a land?
Or enchantment
No, there's
makes
already
a
a
land.
Zoetic Cavern. That's real.
Yeah.
I think that
That's real.
one of the reasons I'm
Yeah.
voting for enchantment in this is that there are so few enchantments. I mean, from a strictly cube perspective, which is what the basis of my voting is,
Exactly.
there's very few enchantments in cube. Like, they are by a wide margin the least common card type,
Least
other
represented card type.
other than planeswalkers.
Mhm.
And I think that like there could certainly be like very powerful or interesting enchantments that get made, and I think that like it's not like a guarantee that it's going to be a crappy card or anything. I think like any land that they allow us to make is just going to be so nerfed in power level. Like, who's going to care?
It's
about
easy
it?
to believe that, and it's, you know, from the cube perspective, there are a lot of lands we're not playing we'd like to play, but an enchantment could still be anything. It
Yeah.
could even be a boat. You must be one of those.
Enchantment.
like, yeah.
That's sweet.
So I guess yes. In reality, I'm voting enchantment. I think there's more space for us, especially on the cube side. That's where I want to be. As far as lands go in other formats, meh. You know, major indifference.
I mean,
But,
again,
I think
to
we're
make
probably
something
both voting
powerful
yeah.
enough that's going to break into like anything beyond like
My vote's still
the
land
block that they
enchantment.
print this in standard,
I agree.
they're going to have to make something so
Just combo
like
word.
it's.
Land enchantment.
There's no way that they're going to let us make a land that's good enough to like see like legacy or modern play. I don't think.
This is going to be in a standard legal set, right?
Yes,
It always
yes.
has been before.
Yes.
They could make it really good if they released it in like a plane chase sort of situation.
Like-
Right.
Land.
Well, you know, if you think about Crucible of Worlds, Crucible of Worlds zero play in the standard environment.
Yeah.
It's I mean, like extended. There wasn't really a legacy when it first came out.
Doesn't see play in modern right now.
No, but like it went to extended vintage, and it was really good in vintage, and it was impressive that you could have a card that was made by the people that went straight into this Eternal format.
The
and
other
was
two
really
were
good.
completely horrible by that same
I mean,
metric. I think.
I think
Like,
that Forgotten Ancient is an excellent casual card. It was meant to be very multiplayer in an era when they weren't making multiplayer
That's true.
cards. And Vanish is just the redheaded stepchild we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, screw redheads.
Yeah,
Get
Um,
out.
my wife's a redhead.
I like the Cold Snap themed one. I forgot what it even does, but I just like it
The
on
Cold Snap
principle.
theme one.
What is it? It's like
Vanish into memory.
Vanish into memory.
It's not even themed to
You-
be a cold snap.
It's
It's in Cold Snap. That's
It has
it's-
some like
okay.
like icy.
You exile a
things on
creature,
picture.
Draw cards equal to its power, and then it comes back at end of turn. Discard cards equal to its toughness.
So you're supposed to use it on like your own guy or their guy?
Who knows? It's so wide open.
Use it on your Blistering Firecraft.
Yeah, use it on Blistering Firecraft.
Obviously.
Unmorph,
Okay.
vanish, kill you.
Unmorph attack, damage on.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Before you sack it, draw 7 cards.
You don't even sack it. You just flick it. And then
Just flick it?
Yeah.
Wait, when does it come out?
Alright.
Comes back at EOT, I think.
Yeah, it does.
Is it EOT or is it?
Yeah, it's EOT, but that way you can like use it aggressively to like fog their guy out and attack.
Right.
Falter one guy.
Yeah, or if you like Snapcaster Vanish and then you get to attack with it next turn because you've drawn so many cards, you drew a Snapcaster.
Okay,
Sure.
so I'm gonna.
We can move on. I think.
Either way, I think the Magic Box podcast is securely in the Team Enchantment camp.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or late enchantment. That's the
Land enchantment.
the runner
Well,
up.
I don't know.
Definitely
I would
not
down to see,
enchant
like-
land.
I would down to see like a land that has a
Could
basic
be.
land type that isn't a basic. Like I really like Dryad Arbor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Like you could have like
That'd be sick.
an island. Well, or maybe
You couldn't have an island that does anything. I promise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
So
like a plains maybe.
for those who have been here the entire time, I know we already did a pick a pack, and then we had some technical difficulties.
people hate when we do these, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be
so
everyone's just
we're-
gonna tune out as soon as we do another
We're
one.
gonna do another one,
Probably will.
especially for the benefit of those on the audio side. So here is our new pack.
This is
Same
That's
as
the old pack.
Oh shit! Really?
yes.
Uh-oh.
I
Oh, no.
still take
It's
Nate.
interesting.
Actually, no. This time.
There it is.
There we go. Okay,
Sorry, everybody.
it's
That time
okay.
I take you.
There we go.
So for the audio inclined, those listening to the podcast after the fact, Eck will now read to you the names of 15 Magic cards, while our in-studio contestants start to guess.
So this pack includes Niv Mizzet Draco Genius, which is the new one, Gilded Lotus, Ancestral Vision, Sulfur Elemental, Electrolyze, Thragtusk, Mother of Runes, Dryad Militant, Kargan Dragonlord, Frantic Search, Mox Diamond, Devastation, Dothy Marauder, Wooded Foothills, and Lotus Cobra.
Oh,
So-
Mother of Runes and Dryad Militant. How lucky.
I
What does
know.
Devastation do?
Destroys all creatures and lands. This includes your creatures and lands. in
Oh,
case you're
darn.
Yeah. And it costs
Devastation
7.
you?
So, out of this pack, if I really like Mox Diamond, to be perfectly frank here. Like,
Wow.
It's still a mod.
That's a pretty.
Now this is
aggressive-
an 8-man booster draft. If this was a heads-up Winston draft, well, we wouldn't be looking at 15 cards.
Yeah.
I think my point
this
is
is quite the pile if you're listening.
I love Mox Diamond. It's a little harder for me to evaluate in an 8-man draft, especially pick one, pack one. Here,
Can we not just take Ancestral Vision again?
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
for
I
the
would.
people listening at home, they don't know there wasn't again.
All right.
Although-
Ancestral
for-
Vision, sweet.
In the first pack we did earlier today, it was Ancestral Vision was the 2-2-1 vote pick. It wasn't even the clear favorite.
Yeah.
I'm just having a deja vu of casting Ancestral Vision at some point in the future. So
A deja vu from the future.
I mean,
it is a vision.
like, I really like. I mean, I certainly like Ancestral Visions. I certainly like Mox Diamond. I really also. I mean, we're talking about fetch lands
Yep.
at length.
I would
you
take
know.
Wooded Foothills.
Wooded Foothills is very good.
I would
It's
take
close.
Wooded Foothills or Gilded Lotus.
I don't think
You
this
know.
one is as much of a talking piece. Like I would see this pack. I would take a card. I know what it is.
What is it?
Gild you.
I'm last. Go
All right.
I would almost be
Finish
willing to hear an argument for Thragtusk because that card is so good. Like, Thragtusk is insane.
We are living in different worlds, my friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
like, it's
that too
green.
much.
It's still. I'm
taking Mox Diamond.
All right,
If
X
I have
Mox
to, like-
Diamond, Nathan GP Champion Holiday. What are you taking?
I would take Ancestral Vision, and let me just put in the MTGOQ perspective. If this is online, I would take Ancestral Vision and try to wheel Frantic Search. Although I might just take Frantic Search and try to wheel Electrolyze because Frantic
Why don't you
Search is
just
very
Why don't you
good.
just take Ancestral Vision and definitely wheel Electrolyze?
Yeah.
No, but I really want Frantic Search more than any.
You
other
want
card in this
you want
pack.
Frantic Search more than you want Electrolyze?
or Ancestral Vision,
Or
if I'm
so
testing Storm.
the card you want the most is also the card you are clearly not taking first.
Well, because I might wheel it.
Okay.
Well, but I might just take it first anyway. But in your queue, I would definitely take Vision because Storm
Okay.
is not a thing.
Okay.
Like,
All right, so we've
understanding
got,
what stuff we'll wheel.
we've got one vote for Mox Diamond,
Mm-hmm.
one vote for Ancestral Vision. Over to Michael, the one drop Boland in the back.
Either Wooded Foothills or Ancestral Vision. I think it's just Ancestral Vision.
One more vote Ancestral Vision. We've tried to change the contents of the pack for those watching live the entire time, but they still love the Ancestral Vision.
Wooded Foothills. for
Wooded
sure.
Foothills. Okay, so we
Maybe
have
Gilded Lotus for fun.
for fun.
Yeah, it lets you do really fun
It
big
is sweet.
things. Like
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna snap off the Thragtusk in this pack.
Really?
Yeah, I'm snapping off.
Like
the
I said,
Thragtusk.
I think
we
that's
play
a
different
totally
Magic.
Yes,
I think that's a
we do.
totally defensible pick. I mean,
That's the top end of my blue-green deck.
Yeah.
It's the middle of the road of all my green ramp decks. It fits into my green anything decks because it's going to be... It's hard to find that kind of 5-drop. It's
Plus, if
only
you-
a single green here in pick one, pack one.
Yeah.
if you ever get to abuse
Blue
it,
control deck, yeah.
if you like, it's one of the best creatures to like abuse with like flicker effects.
You have
or
momentary
like,
blink, right? Or no?
no, we have flicker wisp and
Resto.
restoration angel, and then like if you like live the dream and have like recurring nightmare or something, like that's just disgusting.
Or that Mimic Vat that the Moto Cube cut?
Right, like there are a ton of ways that like you can
leaving
like,
behind little beast babies all day long with the Mimic Vat.
Yeah, like there are a ton of ways to just like make Thragtusk insane, like
Cute.
you know, and it's just good on its own anyway. Like
Little petting zoo.
Thragtusk gives you like a ton of value, so like I get totally.
So on our last
Baby
pack,
beast.
where it was 2 votes vision, was it 2 votes vision, 2 votes...
We're just all about the visions all the
Yeah,
time.
you guys. It was the curly-haired team was 2 votes vision. The middle team
we're on the
was
same page.
something else. I
Clearly.
don't remember what it was. You guys were on the same
Wooded
page.
foothills for me.
Yeah. This is a little bit different.
This pack is sweet. I like that there's a mono red card. If you really wanted to take Kargan Dragon Lord, you could.
Yeah.
There actually is a
that's
mono
pretty
red card.
reasonable,
That's like-
actually.
If you want-
That'd be too psychopathic. even
I
for
would
me.
still take Wooded Foothills, and then maybe I would go mono red there.
That Dragonlord
Yeah,
might
that's
even come back.
reasonable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Dragon
like
Lord's
not
one of
that
the
good of a
best.
mono red card. So
Are
you
you
could see if you
serious?
could like feel out the rest of
It's
the
like
table,
the
see if
best mono
anybody's
red
drafting
drop
mono
that
red,
doesn't
and
have
then keep
haste.
this.
Like if Kargan Dragonlord comes back, like that is absolutely like the biggest red light ever.
Yeah.
The like mono red is like
There's
super
something to be
online
said
and
for
super
that.
open.
So just keep an eye out for that when this pack wheels.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did the pick the card. Again, I'm totally thrown off because our audio side broke with our video side.
I know.
X
I feel
mainframe.
bad.
You got it. Skynet is coming to life. We're losing
the system
it.
is down.
The system.
I think we covered everything we plan on covering tonight.
We
If you go
talked-
back to our show notes, was there anything in the show notes?
we talked to Nathan Holiday about
We
his,
did talk to Nathan Holiday.
his
We should
Grand
make
Prix
sure we go
history.
talk to Nathan Holiday. We'll talk, there's a Nathan Holiday.
We talked extensively about the Moto Cube changes.
Yeah, I mean the audio side of the podcast, you kind of didn't get to hear so much. More of the
I try.
larger feelings about MTGO Cube in general. I don't like the ticket system. The Cube ticket system is just atrocious right now. I really want us to find a better way to do it. An easy fix to that system, I think, is just to make them tradable.
Maybe that's why the stream crashed. Is because Wizards heard us complaining about it.
yeah.
Shut him down.
Yeah, like press the button.
So yeah, I mean, we touched on all the changes of the MTGO Cube. It will be the Cube that our good friend Sam Party will be battling with this weekend at PAX East for the Mox Championship.
So hopefully he wins, and then we can just keep the stream of like awesome.
I hope he
Super Star
drafts
guest star?
Storm and wins with Storm.
I hope he doesn't draft Storm, because I don't think that's a thing you can actually draft in the MTGO
It'd be
Cube.
sick if he drafted Storm and won the event.
Hey,
I agree. It would be
Very
sick if he
classic.
drafted Mono White Bears in one.
That's not happening. I promise. Remember when he couldn't stop raging at you for coercing him into taking balance instead of hero?
Yes.
Every time he drew balance, he was like, I would win immediately. God damn it.
So he drafted his
And he's
entire
never
deck
casted
differently.
A Gideon Jura in his life.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure he has.
you know, if you're listening to this, good luck, Sam.
Yes, good luck, Sam.
In the Magic Online Championships, we'll be rooting for you.
You are our vote.
Hopefully, he can be on next
Yeah.
week and relive his
Tells the
experiences with
Sam
that.
Gideon story.
Is there a story?
With Resto.
He loves that card. He like, I don't know if there
Take
is
it
a
down
story.
for your chat.
Oh, yeah.
Let's,
evaluate.
do you have the show notes? You can actually look. I
That's
feel
too
like we're
gross to
we're
talk
missing
about.
something.
Is it?
We're not.
It's pretty good.
Sam just evaluated Gideon as like he's gonna take a dump on your chest or something.
Yeah, because when they attack Gideon down to 2, and then you zero it, attack them, they don't
Resto
block, and then you resto it, and then you plus it, and then you fog them again.
Yeah. AKA take a dump on their chest.
Okay, well
the Sam
that was
Gideon story.
all the important stuff in our show notes. I will say, as an update from last week, we are much closer to locking in our special guest artist to make our new logo. Again, this guy he's too big for us. We're so lucky to have locked him in to do our new logo. I'm very excited about it. He's pretty much doing it pro bono. Again, we have to thank him for that. And all this information will be disclosed once we have a draft put together for that.
So, speaking more on the I don't know what side of things this is, the non-exactly
I don't know, your
magical side.
Your tone changed.
We
Someone
added.
die?
You might have
You
noticed.
got all solemn.
You might
A
have-
moment of silence.
You might have noticed that on the Twitch page.
Sorry. Go.
You might have noticed on the Twitch page and on the blog we added PayPal donate buttons, and
Please.
so the reason for doing this is primarily so that when MotoCube comes back online, I'm planning on going, or both of us really are planning on just kind of going off and drafting it and streaming it nonstop, and you know, being able to fund that and getting assistance from the community to try and like just keep those rolling as much as possible.
As we've tried to point out, made it on the live side, didn't make it so much on the audio side. MTGO cube drafting is in no way a profitable venture. Again, if they gave away real packs, it would be really great to just do a draft sponsored by somebody. You pay into it, you get out the prizes. But again, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a bust. We are trying to plan ahead for those things. Again, our logo isn't free. As we do hit more people, these costs are coming up. We want the podcast to just sustain itself, so we can spend all our money on burritos for people to bring them in here, which is real important.
Plus, like hosting. It
is a non-zero cost
Yeah.
as we try to reach more people. And we hope that we're bringing you something that you like. I don't like the whole let's beg for the dollars thing,
No.
but we want to bring you more services and more cool stuff.
And any money that comes in is going right back into the stream, either to pay for hosting or to pay for drafts when drafts become a thing.
Or to update our horribly ugly-looking blog page that we have very little control over.
What about buying a poster for the wall?
Yeah. We had Dre in our first episode.
Oh, yeah?
But Eck and
That's
Dre kind of split up.
Someone forgot about Dre this time around.
I'm a fan of.
Where'd he go?
So, yeah. So if you
refuse to lose, I don't know.
if you're
Yeah,
feeling
someone does.
if you're feeling generous and you want to donate, and this will become more relevant obviously when MotoCube comes back. We're doing that a lot. I mean, regardless of the amount of money that comes in, I will be streaming Cube drafts pretty much 24/7 once Cube comes back
Eck
online.
will go into debt for you, the people.
Yeah, I would prefer not to,
the loyal
but I
audience
will
will.
if I have to.
Especially because he now has to buy new hardware to make this problem not
Because
happen.
smoke
again.
started shooting out of this computer, amazingly enough. So
Again, you can find us hopefully every week on mtgcast.com. You can find us on ekamon.blogspot.com, where all of our pertinent data is. You can pay us to be here at a particular time as well. If you think that we are too late or too early in the morning, and we posted on Salvation yesterday that we were going to be doing this at this time. The first two posts, hey, can you stream earlier? It's really late for me. Hey, can you stream later? I wake up in England and I'd like to watch this during breakfast.
Jesus. You just take the average and we're doing it at the right time.
We're doing it at the right time.
You should just stream.
Just
all
bring
the
a
time.
laptop
Non-stop.
into me.
I mean,
You
like,
should attach a video to your face.
I mean, one of the things that was brought up at Cube League
Stream
today
his
was,
face.
why don't we just stream Cube League from the store?
That's
People were really into that.
interesting.
It's
It's difficult.
The logistics
though. I don't
of that
think
would
would
be-
yeah,
very
we're not
easy.
gonna hit
not
that
happening.
we're not gonna hit that money goal anytime soon.
No.
yeah.
It would be great
You
to
can
have
attach a camera from above, maybe.
right and
Get
try
like a
to
GoPro
just
or
run.
something.
Feature matches.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
like
like
video
with a
feature matches,
laptop,
that'd be
maybe
sick.
that would work.
Yeah, Eck will just put in the donation bar for that. As soon as we hit 2K, we'll bring you
We'll hire a film crew.
live on location.
Yeah,
Film crew. It's just you and me.
We'll get Ryan Seacrest. It'll be.
yeah. We'll have commentary.
One
booths, the
second
whole
of his
thing.
time. Yeah, you could definitely
DM
you could
Ryan
definitely
Seacrest.
make donations and pay us to stream at different times. We will find a way.
When I'm live streaming Cube, it will not be at this time. It will be during the day proper.
Right, well,
several hours.
Again, we
early
do
in
this during when Cube League is, so it
Yeah.
makes sense. Although it's not the best for us. You saw these guys eating tacos in the background earlier, and
Yeah.
we jammed to get here.
They're eating tacos probably, or doing something way worse.
I mean, if our audience is just eating tacos,
Yeah.
I'd be pretty damn happy. Wow, I think that's it.
think that-
so
yeah.
check back in next week. I don't know who will have a special thanks to
No one
GP San Diego Modern Format Champion, Red Hair Aficionado Nathan Holiday,
Aficionado.
who
Aficionado.
ended up getting in 3% of the screen after it was all said and done. Michael Boland, good friends with everybody here already. He's a little ahead of the game. We were going to call him in later because one day down the road we will have One Drop Cube, the Cube episode with.
I don't know if people can handle it. It's a pretty wacky cube.
I know. Start. Where can we find your list?
I will post a link to it on my Twitter. It's _Boland_.
If you send it to Eck, he'll put it in the show notes. We'll
Perfect.
add to this
Yep.
episode as well as a bit of a teaser for things to come.
I'll also tweet that out.
Sounds good.
We also have Stefan Ambort, who has been playing Magic with us since he was also
Small child.
prepubescent.
Tiny child.
It makes it sound a lot grosser.
Yeah. Really, every friend of ours that plays
try not to
Magic,
use
it makes
that
us feel
word.
more and more like pedophiles. I've known him since he was
Remember,
9.
remember when you
Like,
first started coming out to play Magic and your mom thought that everyone older than you was a rapist?
Yeah. I mean, that definitely.
That happened to me too.
Yeah. Like,
Jesus.
on that
Like,
note.
your dad was often there, but remember Dave?
I don't,
Paul and Dave.
I don't think anyone thought my dad was that.
On the note of our
Yeah,
Magic
it's
playing
fine,
group being
yeah.
accused of being pedophiles, I think we
I,
will
yeah,
call
there's
it.
no better sign off
No,
than
I
that.
don't think so.
On the
Or
pedophile
Dave,
note,
rather.
we got that one.
Dave was a
Again,
little- he was a nice guy.
He was a
Ekamon.blogspot.com.
24-hour fitness.
Chime in with your questions. We'll do a Q&A
24
eventually.
hours
We're going to
a
bring
day.
you much more Cube as we can.
always there.
Look for us on... We try to post on Salvation and Reddit all the time.